What is up, YouTube? Extra Chronic back at it again once again with yet another amazing video. And instead of me going through a full intro of what I'm doing, let's get right into the video. Now, what do you like in a deck? Do you like overpowering your enemy, winning a match, or do you like both? Because if you like both, this is the deck for you. Now, if you're a fusion lover, this is also a deck for you because it really consists of fusions. If you're not that much of a fusion lover, I cannot help you. That's the entire premise of this deck. But I will be coming out with another deck in time if you do not like fusions and you like normal monsters. So stay tuned for that. Now, I'm going to explain to you how to win with this deck, exactly how to use each card, what cards you need to put in this deck, and why you should have that many cards in this deck. And if you stay to the end of the video, you get to see all the duels and how I OTK. So make sure to stay tuned to the end of this video. Now, coming into this first duel, as you can see, it's against an NPC. I summoned my monster, he summoned his, and I used my first card, my trap. This trap lets you special summon a fusion monster by sending a material from your hand and or field to special summon a fusion monster. That's your polymerization as a trap card right there. And the good thing about this deck is that the way I have it running, you can fusion summon up to 7 times with this deck. I am not going to lie to you. That is a lot. I know it is for how many cards you can have for your fusion material or fusion monsters in general or in your extra deck. But it is well worth it because this guarantees that you're going to have at least one fusion card on your first turn. Now, as you can see, I use a fusion monster as a fusion material to summon Topaz. He may have a low attack, but with this spell card, Particle Fusion, I can use the material and banish one of my monsters to increase my monster's attack. Now, Topaz, as you've seen, deals a lot of damage. He also deals damage apparent to the monster's defense after he destroys it, but he can also attack twice, and that's why I ran it like this. This is really my first OTK deck, and it's really short, but if you wait till the next match, which should be starting right about now, Yugimoto. Now, this is another OTK using the exact same cards. And this is just showing how easy it is to OTK with this deck. And you can use in ranked. I literally have a winning streak of about 10 duels. And it's not that I lost on that 10th duel. I just kind of stopped on that 10th duel. That was enough for today. But yeah, 10 duels, nothing but wins. I win against Exodia users, Blue Eye spammers, let's see, Gladiator Beasts, Six Samurai, you name it. They cannot beat this deck. This deck is way too powerful for that. This is not a deck to play around with. This is a dangerous deck, okay? This is very dangerous for the enemy. Not you, the enemy. Because you can overpower them so easily. Now, coming into my turn, I summon my monster as usual. And now, I will summon another monster and use Particle Fusion. Using Particle Fusion, I fusion summon, I think, let's see, Prism, who you can see he has a pretty decent amount of attack. Not too much, but just enough. Now I'm going to summon him into attack position and attack on my turn. After using my card's effect, obviously. That card is out of the way, and now he activates Shattered Axe. So I'm going to constantly lose 500 per turn. But don't fret that, it's not going to really affect me that much because this is another Topaz deck which I'm going to be using. So Topaz OTK, that's what you're looking for. Now, being that he doesn't attack my monster or destroy it, I'm going to summon another monster with another Particle Fusion in my hand. I'm going to summon my Thunder type to my field and attack position and use Particle Fusion once more. This will summon Topaz, in which, as you've seen in the last duel, I will actually send Prism to the banish zone. That way I can gain that attack and attack him twice on my turn to OTK him. This is the easiest deck to OTK with so far, and you need to use this before they start, limiting some of the cards you can use for his deck. Because the fact that you can fusion summon up to 7 times, 7 different times to be exact, is insane. Plus, if you have Emerald on your field, Gemini Emerald, his effect is right here, along with what he looks like. His effect states that if you discard him and another normal monster, you can actually special summon a fusion monster from your graveyard. So if you ever get one destroyed, or you ever do what I did by using it as a fusion material, you can bring it back to the field in an attack position right there for the rest of the duel until it gets destroyed. Now, with that OTK out of the way, I'll actually go to a slower duel against another Arcana. If you see my last video where I actually fought Arcana, you know that they just love using Drain Shield and trying to survive as much as possible. The thing is, with this deck, you don't have to worry about all that. Even though he does still do the exact same thing, it is not working in his favor. It actually just stalls out the duel, and he still ends up losing with no chance of winning or coming back. Now, he uses cards like Wall of Disruption, which I actually have a video coming out on Wall of Disruption later on this week, so stay tuned for that. Definitely stay tuned for that. But apart from that, he uses Shard of Greed on his turn and summons a monster in attack position. Monster doesn't have that much attack, but he uses his spell card to boost the attack, which ends up not going in his favor, because I use my Fusion Trap to send a material from my field and hand, and not just 2, but 3, to summon the strongest Gem Knight in this deck. This guy's effect is amazing, being that no matter how many Gem Knights you have in your graveyard, that's what the effect is based off of. As many Gem Knights as you have in your graveyard, he gains 100 attack, so this is an extremely good way to destroy a Blue Eyes on your first turn, as long as you don't have Tyrant face down on their field or anything boosting their attack too much. But yes, that will actually settle the duel, and this is where he starts stalling. Now, I end my turn, and he goes to his turn. On my opponent's turn, he just kind of really rethinks of what's going on and what just happened, because, not a lot of people use this deck at all. Like, I've literally seen no one use a Gem Knight deck so far. Literally, no one. Not even NPC. Not even Vagabond. Vagabond doesn't even use this deck yet. That's how good this deck is. They don't even know about it. So if you use this deck right now and get your wins out there, you can abuse the fact that no one knows about this deck and or how to counter it while you still have a chance. Because I feel like, just like with the Cloudians, once people figure out the counter for it, they're going to always run in their deck. Now, I have an actual video coming out on Cloudian, and it's not the video you think it might be. So this is going to be an interesting one. I can't tell you exactly when it's going to be out. Just be ready for Cloudian to be coming out sometime. All I can say is soon. Now, my opponent has 200 life points left, and he activates his Shard of Greed to draw some more cards. He sets 2 face down and a monster in face down defense position. On my turn, I draw and I summon another monster. Now, with this monster on the field, I'm like, yeah, I can end a duel, so I attack. He flips over Wall Disruption, decreasing my attack by 1,600, and that really stumps me, because I have no attack on this monster, and I just took that much damage. Now, I can still attack him and destroy his monster, but it really won't do much because he doesn't take any damage. But sadly, he uses the card Drain Shield to gain back his life points. So he's trying to stick in this duel as long as possible, thinking he might just have a chance. What he doesn't know is that his chance is long gone. And you'll see, even though I don't fusion summon again in this duel, I still have enough attack to take his cards out one by one. Now, this is where the duel kind of gets serious. I go down to 600 life points, and I don't know what to expect, because I only have so many cards on the field, and I don't know if I'm going to draw anything good. Luckily, I draw Gem Knight Emerald, so I can summon him to attack position with 1800 attack. Now, with him being on field, I go ahead and try to end the duel. I attack, and then I will attack again, doing the minimum amount of damage, but just enough to drop his life points once again to a level where I am somewhat safe and I can manage. Now, on his turn, I don't know why, but he insists on using his effect, which is Card Shuffle. If you don't know what that does, it shuffles your deck for 300 of your life points, but there are literally cards to do that. Literally, if you use Card Trader, it shuffles your deck and lets you draw a card, the exact same thing his effect does, just for the fact that it takes up an actual spell trap zone slot instead of your life points. So I really don't get the effect. I'm not going to trash it. It can be used, I guess, in different ways if you don't want to run those in the deck, but it limits you much. It limits you by a lot, actually. And that is where the duel ends. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment below. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscription button, hit that notification bell, that way you know anytime any of my new videos come up. And no matter if it's night or day, hope you have a great one. Stay tuned for more, guys.